Hello and welcome back to Tallboy Radio Podcast. If you're listening to this, it's Andy, and it's my yearly podcast lead. So away we go. So today, in fact, before we start on jibber jabbing about what we're going to talk about, let's introduce the guys. So who's going to go first?
I generally go first, so I'll jump in. Hi guys, it's Gaz. Looking forward to this. I look forward to Andy's leading of the podcast. Never quite sure sort of where it's going to go and what left turns we're going to go down, but yeah, looking forward to this. And tonight I'm drinking one of the beers that appeared on my list when we did a podcast with the Pub Time guys, and it's an Erdinger, and it sort of got into my top 5. I think just currently, really, it's about 5.5%. Is it something like that? I'm just trying to, 5.3. So, and as I say, I quite enjoy drinking it at the moment. It's very, very pleasant. So, yeah, looking forward to this and seeing where we go.
Winner chicken dinner. Well, dude, although this is going out in early to mid-January, we are recording it in mid-December. There you go. I'll let you in on the trade secrets. So I'm test running the beer that I've got for Christmas. So it's my Brewdog Christmas specials. I know you're probably sick of the word Christmas now because we're in January, but I'm starting off doing them in reverse order, really. Should be done the other way. This is the Brewdog Velvet Cake, which is a pecan salted caramel stout, 6%. I've not heard great things about it, actually. A lot of people saying it's a little bit watery, and it could be doing with having a little more body, but I tell you what, it tastes great. Then there's the Mistletoe Mafia, which is a Viennese-style lager. I don't know what a Viennese-style lager is, so I'm looking forward to trying that one. And then the Hoppy Xmas, which is a festive IPA, another 6%er. So that's the one I'll be having next. I like the look of that one. And before we hand back to Andy, I just want to say a massive congratulations to Ken, our guest presenter. We've had him on here. He got married while he was in Gran Canaria recently. So congratulations to Ken and Sam Davenport. Many happy years together, no doubt.
Congratulations. You know what? Let's raise a glass. Congratulations.
Indeed,
well done, buddy.
Yeah, congrats.
Congratulations, dude.
I thought Adam was going to do the 12 days of Christmas then and show us 12 beers he's going to chug down tonight.
Yeah, 12 Brewdog beers for Christmas. Let's go.
So I'm on the old Beavertown tonight, so I've got a Gamma Ray first, which I've mostly drunk, and it's only been like 5 minutes, and a Bones as well, which is, I don't think I've had the Bones one, but
no,
can't be a Beavertown.
I've got a Gamma Ray one, I think, in the fridge, I think, as well. I nearly made an appearance tonight, but just in case my Erdinger goes, I've quite like that, like the American style IPA. I don't think you can see that. So I've got that for the second one. I actually quite like that. Again, that's about 5%. So not hugely heavy, but it's quite tasty, I have to admit. So looking forward to that as well.
It's got my face on the bottle, which is good to see.
I know. For those that can't quite pick that up. Ooh, there he is. Look at that.
Is he? That is definitely him. When he's got his bike there, he's got the goggles on.
So, episode 102. Yeah, these numbers are battling through them. So yeah, today talk about New Year's resolutions. I mean, normally I don't set resolutions because I just do whatever I want to do, sort of thing. I don't commit to something. But this year, I'm actually going to try and do 2 of them, which I'll share later on. But what about you guys? Have you ever put much thought into doing them, or have you done them in the past?
I went through a phase of thinking when you were a kid, like, nah, what's the point? Because you never stitch them anyway. And then, I don't know, maybe sort of mid-30s, late 30s, I thought, yeah, I'll set a couple, and it's the normal sort of don't drink too much, try to lose some weight, don't eat too much chocolate. And then I thought, actually, what's the point? Because I never stitched them anyway. And that was when I was in my mid-30s, and then I tried again in my mid-40s. I thought, nah, what's the point? I don't stitch them. So genuinely, though, this time I am going to make an attempt to stick to one. But I'll get onto exactly what it is, possibly a little bit later. But yeah, I haven't really. Jenny makes them and actually does a much better job of sticking to them than I do, but maybe sort of a couple of months down the line, 2 or 3 months down the line, maybe doesn't. Whereas I would be like, a couple of weeks, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to get back on the booze. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm the same as yourself, to be honest, dude. I've made them in the past. It's not something I massively stick to. And it's the same as yourself, Andy. It's like, if I'm going to start it, I might as well start on February the 13th rather than January the 1st, when basically the house is full of chocolate and beer that's been left over. And, I've got a bottle and a half of whiskey that I'm going to rattle through, before the 3rd. So I'm not great, but this year I have made a few. And maybe we'll hear from yours first, but yeah, I've got one or two that I want to stick to, and just predictably, like everybody else's, they normally centre around weight loss, especially as Gaz, as he referred to the episode we did with the Pub Time podcast on, where he kindly pulled up that picture where I'd broken all the bones in my face, and whereas everybody's sort of chuckling away at that, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm about 3 stone heavier than I was in that picture.
It was quite a svelte looking Adam, I have to admit.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a not often seen svelte Adam, but it's I've done it. I think I've done it 2 or 3 times in my adult life, and I'm looking to make it a 4th this year, I think.
The thing is, are you setting yourself a target though?
Yeah, well, I've always weighed myself. Whenever I've lost weight, I've always weighed myself daily, and then you can sort of chart your progress, and you sort of see where you're going along. But the key thing for me is diet. And when I say diet, I don't mean in terms of, right, I'm going to cut out all the rubbish, I'm going to control my calories, because to be honest, that is the best way. But in every time of my life when I've been moderately slim, I've been vegetarian. And that's what I'm looking at for 2022.
Now that is extreme. What would you do it for a year then? What, you go veggie for a year, or just continue to be veggie?
Just continue to be veggie. So yeah, as of January the 1st. So if we listen to it, I guess what, by the time we get to episode 1 or 3, I might have knocked it on the head. You see me hiding around the back of a McDonald's, grabbing a Big Mac in my mouth.
So is that going to impact? Is that going to impact then obviously family? And are you going to end up cooking sort of 2 different meals, or is the plan for sort of maybe your two to effectively grow up being vegetarian?
No, I wouldn't make that decision for them. That's entirely up to them. I mean,
yeah.
I remember explaining to Tiddy once, because she's Tiddy, she's got an inquisitive mind, and she was asking about stuff and where meat came from. So I was explaining to her, like, well, actually meat comes from animals. When you talk about lamb, it comes from an actual lamb. It's a sheep. When you're talking about pork, it comes from a pig. And we had pork chops that night, and like she was just sitting there eating it down. And once she finished, she goes, "Daddy, can I have some more animal, please?" Completely untroubled by where it come from.
Because that is fundamentally quite a big, I say big decision. That's quite a big change, just in terms of obviously the whole meal time and the preparation. And I suppose there aren't many, and I don't know, I might be showing my ignorance here, there aren't many sort of foods that you think, actually, you know what, we can do a meat version and a vegetarian version of the same meal sort of thing, and it's relatively easy to cook both together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy perhaps as everybody having the same meal, because that's the I was, as we mentioned it before, I was vegetarian for years, and there was 2 reasons that I knocked it on the head. One, I actually really enjoy the taste of meat, and I really enjoy it, just the texture and everything about it. But there was a time in my life when I felt uncomfortable eating it, that I felt that something didn't need to die for me to eat. And, and that's probably true, really, when we break it down, but I do enjoy it. And I'm not going to stick to it as resolutely as I have in the past. If we guys are getting together and we want to test some real rub on some meat, then do you know what? I will eat it. There's no point denying yourself something that you get some enjoyment from. But the purpose of doing it is to lose weight. It's not for any ethical reason. I just eat healthier. I look at, rather than picking up that pack of sweets off the shelf, it's like, it's got gelatin in it, I'm not going to eat it. And it's just getting my mind into thinking like that. So when I knocked it on the head the first time around, it's because it was too difficult. Matilda was a baby, so we were preparing a meal for her. Kim isn't a vegetarian, so we were doing a meat meal for her, then a vegetarian meal for me, and it was just a ball ache. But now the kids are on, the kids are eating whatever we eat. They're a little bit older. They're 3 and 5 this year, I should say, giving it away again. So we're preparing one meal for them, and it's just a separate meal for me. So it's not actually as much hassle. So that's the route we're going down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about yourself then, Andy? Are you a sort of believer in it, or do you set them make? I mean, obviously your whole life situation has sort of changed this year, or should I say last year, depending on when you listen to this, and I've let the cat out of the bag again. But so what's your thoughts then? What do you normally set them or not?
No. But first of all, going vegetarian sounds fucking horrendous. I just have to get that in there.
I still can't remember the name of that place that we went to when we were in Edinburgh. For the life of me, we walked past it a couple of times and it was like, dude, that's just Andy. And it was basically like booze and meat. It wasn't called that, but it was effectively, that's what it was. It was like beer with meat.
It was literally steak and bourbon house. It was literally, if Andy had an idea for a restaurant, that was it there.
Yeah, that was it. Tick. Yeah.
And I'm sure it had like a devil or something on the outside.
Yeah, it did. I can't for life remember what it's called. And if we got any listeners up in Edinburgh, then hit us up with what it's called. But basically, that would be Andy's like perfect place. I'm with you, Andy. That sounds proper extreme. Dude, just eat like one rib instead of like 3 ribs, or just have like half a chicken piece instead of 3 or whatever.
The key thing you said was sweets. Just maybe miss them first, and then I'm behind you. Actually, yeah, I'll miss out the meat.
Dude, I'm not being funny. Rather than going vegetarian, just cut out that.
Well, that's the other thing I'm doing.
Oh, right. Oh, no way is that going to happen.
I
well, it's made with fish guts, isn't it, beer? So
well, I'm going to gloss over that like I did the last time. But no,
good work, Andy. Good knowledge, kid.
That's the other thing that Tiddy's on at me all the time, and I don't know where she's got it from. Like, literally, she'll sit there and say, "What is it with Daddy and beer? It just makes his belly big." It's all right. Let's let everybody calm down now. Let's settle down. Stop attacking me here. But so I promised her. So she keeps saying to me, you need to stop drinking beer. If you stop drinking, because she'll come and get in our bed 2:00 every morning, roll around, steal the duvet, cop an elbow to the eye socket and that kind of stuff. And she said, I will stay in my bed if you stop drinking beer. I said, okay, that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine.
I don't mind sleeping in our bed. That's fine.
Exactly. I thought that was my first argument. But I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I will stop drinking beer completely, apart from podcast nights. And then if we're going out and doing something, but I says, I will stop drinking beer in the house. There was no mention of whiskey. Let me make that very clear. She doesn't get the concept of that. So the whiskey intake will be, but I think
that's like I'm going with vegetarian, but I might just eat chicken.
No, I'm not going alcohol free. I'm just reducing my intake, So Andy sort of said earlier when we were on the WhatsApp chat, Tuesday nights is his drinking night and he loves it. And that's where I want to get to. It's like on the weekend, I bought the beer to make some black and tan. So I bought a 4-pack of Guinness and a 4-pack of Grolsch. Really just to make one for the A to try it and B.
And they all went.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had a couple left. They went last night. Yeah.
It's weird because I suppose when you look at that, it's not a New Year's resolution, but if it's like a second week in December resolution, if there's such a thing, but I'm trying to do sort of effectively beer-free days. So that would be like completely beer-free days. And historically, I would have a beer, at least one, and this is going to sound horrendous, at least one beer, maybe 5-6 times a week. So on a Tuesday, I might have 2 or 3. I might have a beer before we start, a couple of beers during the podcast and this, that, and then, Thursday night I have Super League darts, so I have some beer there. And then it's Friday night. Well, it's Friday night, so you have a beer Friday night. Then it's the weekend, and I probably have Saturday night, I have a beer. And then Sunday, I'll probably have a beer after I finish golf, come home and have a couple more beers. And then all of a sudden it's Monday again, and you're like, shit the bed, I've just drank Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You think, bloody hell. So...
You shit the bed.
Not for many, since I was about 1 year old. But you go through, you think, okay. And there was a time, I can't remember when it was, but it was like, crikey, I don't think I've had a beer-free day for like a month or something stupid. So I literally every single day, and it might only be like one beer or it might be one glass of wine over an evening meal or whatever, but it's like, bloody hell, I think I've gone a month without actually having a beer-free day, and obviously I'm married to a GP, so it's like, constantly getting earache about beer intake and stuff. So I think whether it's a New Year's resolution, no, because actually I've sort of tried and been doing it over the last couple of weeks, so it's sort of a December resolution really, but I probably will try to continue that. Whether it works or not and whether I stick to it, I don't know, but And I think, as you said, I think it's more for the health thing, really. It's not necessarily the weight thing, because I say work and stress and that, family and just general life is like, but hell, your weight's coming off me, sort of thing, sliding off me. So I'm trying to drink more beer to put weight on, if I'm honest. So I'll have some of yours. If you're losing it, throw it over the fence and I'll put it on, kid. It's fine. I'm not bothered. So I think probably trying to do 2 or 3 sort of beer-free days a week is something that I might look at. 3 sounds proper extreme though, so I might just go for 2.
I'm trying 6, dude. So you know what I mean. That is optimistic.
Yeah, but you look at, I say, your lifestyle, my lifestyle. Tuesday night, yeah. Thursday night, Super League darts. So can't really go out Super League. You can, but it's incredibly difficult to do. And then it's like Friday nights, you're coming from work, and it's like, just a nice glass of red or a couple of beers or whatever. And then Saturday night, you think, okay, we'll have a takeout or whatever. We might eat out. It's just, I don't know. I don't know whether that's a reflection of my lifestyle, and therefore do I need a lifestyle change in order to not drink as much. I don't know. Just a bit. I don't know. But I suppose I will go for a couple of beer-free days. So what are you on beer-free days at the moment then, Andy? Are you like loads of beer-free days?
Monday, and that's it. I think over summer I was practically every day. But like before lockdown, I was doing basketball twice a week, football twice a week. I was going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, and then I messed my ankle up and all that shit. But then through lockdown, I've done some nothing. Like I've done some workouts in the garden, maybe a little run or something, but probably a month now since I've last gone for a run. So I'm just like, I'm not putting weight on, but, well, I think I am, but I think all the beer's making me, right? It is a beer, got just gas and bloat, right? So I've my 2 targets this year is just to drink 2 or 3 nights. So drink Tuesday night and then hopefully just 1 or 2 nights on the weekend, like Friday, maybe a Saturday. Then just try and exercise at least 4 times a week. We do walking and stuff every day, but I want to do something. But
I suppose it's safe that you probably walk more, don't you? Because obviously you're walking with Soph, so that
Yeah, she's slowed down a bit now because she's 13 now as well. But yeah, every dinner time we walk her, but it's only like half a mile or something like that. But I need to do some exercise. Like I've gone from, I think in the peak I was doing all that sports 8 times a week in the gym as well, and now it's just like, don't know who Jim is. Jim Bean.
That's the only Jim you need to know.
That is the only Jim you need to know. Tell you.
Yeah, drinking's horrendous. So especially now it's coming to Christmas. It's like, I'll have a quick drip now. It's all right. It's only Christmas.
Perfectly acceptable to have a beer for breakfast.
The problem is you look at it and you think, okay, because my missus bangs on and she's right. Obviously, she's a GP. She knows what she's talking about, and it's a combination of lifestyle and beer and exercise and diet and all of those. It's the combination of all of those things, and if you get the combination, and she's always said, I say everything in moderation. It's not like you don't have to drink ever again. It's just do it in moderation, and then maybe eat the right type of food. So make sure you're getting all your food groups, make sure you're eating healthily. And it's not about cutting out, because I went through a phase working and stuff. There was going through change of management and change of ownership and all this and cultural change, and nobody likes that. And it was like, I realised that I actually wasn't eating at all through the day. So literally I would get up, I'd maybe have a brew in the morning, get to work, not have breakfast just because you sort your stuff out. Then kids arrive, and some of the kids that we work with are they will have EHCP, so they have specific needs, and it's like, God, I haven't eaten breakfast. It gets to lunch, it's like I haven't eaten lunch, and I get home and it's like the first thing I actually eat will be evening meal, and you're like, Christ, that's not sustained. That proper isn't very good, and Mrs. was proper having a go at me there, and it's like it was doing wonders for my weight loss. I was pretty piling off me, but she's like, yeah, that's not the way to do it. So you eat your stuff regularly, and I think it was go on and say that eat lots of meals, but small amounts regularly. Is that what they say? So rather than gorging, they say have lots of different, lots of small meals. So breakfast, 11s, lunch,
Well, that's the thing when you think about it. We evolved from creatures in the wild, if you believe that, or we were created by God, whichever you do. But if you believe that the first one there, then that's the way we ate. We would graze the way that all animals do. We wouldn't ever sit down and eat 3 meals. When you actually break it down and look at everything else in the animal kingdom, it's an unnatural thing to do.
Yeah, you say that, but you look at certain species. Oh my God, we're going proper Darwinism now, aren't we? But you look at certain species, so you look at alligators and crocodiles and stuff, and they eat, but they gorge, so they will eat almost as much as they can, and they don't eat, and that one meal will do them for a period of time. And I can't remember what it was. Is it like a week or a couple of weeks or whatever it is? If a gator or whatever, eats, has a proper decent amount to eat, that's it. You won't eat again till 2 weeks later down the line, and you're just like, and that's the gorge sort of, I say feast or famine, that's the gorge thing, isn't it? That's like, actually, you know what, I'm just going to eat as much as I can, because actually I don't know where my next meal is coming from.
But if you look at primates more specifically,
maybe
we are.
Yeah. And I suppose they might eat, because obviously there's lots of fruit and berries and all that sort of stuff, so they do that, and they will probably constantly, so probably not enough to fill them up at any one time, but they just eat constantly over a period of time.
See, I gorge daily, that might explain it.
But it is, but it's the right type of things as well, isn't it? Because over Christmas, and everybody's horrendous over Christmas, but you put out like we call them like Scooby snacks. So you've got like your salted nuts, your dry roasted nuts, you've got your Brazil nuts, and it's like, oh yeah, you should now actually what you should be doing is putting out bits of fruit or whatever. So you think, actually, you know what, instead of having a handful of peanuts, I'll have a couple of grapes, or I'll have an apple or whatever. But you're just like, nah, that's no fun. I just want the bloody Scooby snacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get me all those pretzels. Get me all those Scooby. Get me all those pretzels and beer. Happy days.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember I started doing weightlifting quite seriously. I think it was when I was in Belgium, and I was literally, I think I was about 18, 19 stone, just fat. And I started going to the gym every day, and I started trying to incorporate like a bodybuilding diet, and it is all just like certain size meals. So you'd have like breakfast, dinner, and tea, but then you'd have like protein shakes as a meal and stuff like that, and some fruit and stuff. And it wasn't. Once you got in the swing of things, it was a lot better, because it's like you're grazing all day, just like nibbling on stuff. So instead of having like a massive meal, like they're all tiny. Each one's got to be less than like say 500 grams. Sorry, 500
kilograms of meat. That's
the target. But I enjoyed doing it. Because I was living on my own, it was a piece of piss. But when you start like incorporating a partner, like I need to eat a bit more than what she does, because I'm about twice the size of her, height wise. And then, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough now.
But it's interesting. But you look at the people. So you look at, I say bodybuilders, but you look at people that eat a lot, and they have for breakfast, they'll have like 6 sausages, they'll have like 8 eggs, they'll have bacon, they'll have bread, and they're proper loading up the calories, aren't and it's like, well, that can't be good either, can it?
No, and it's also, that makes your stomach bigger, doesn't it, as well, which adds to bloatiness and stuff. But yeah, a lot of powerlifters will eat just, well, I've heard it's called whole meals, like whole chickens, whole loaves.
It's a whole meal.
Did you ever watch, obviously there's some decent food shows on like the Food Network and places like that, but Eddie the Beast Hall, who obviously is local to us, he's just up the road in Stoke.
Yeah.
He did one on there, and some of the stuff that he could take down, it was fairly impressive, because he's a big guy, but I mean, muscular wise as well. And actually, when it comes to the world's strongest men, he's not one of the sort of, he looks a little less like a sumo wrestler than some of them do. He's pretty well built.
Yeah.
But some of the meals that guy can take down, it was thoroughly impressive.
And that, so would he eat to bulk, or would he eat because he's burning off so many calories? Because I can't imagine and this is going to sound awfully naive, and I don't really know, but if you're working out to his extent, like proper, like world strongest man sort of thing. Do you burn calories as much as, let's say, a footballer or a rugby player or a tennis player that's active for 90 minutes or whatever it may be? You know, tennis players are notoriously very fit because they play for X number of hours and stuff. So would he be eating to bulk and to get the calories in because he doesn't then burn them off, and therefore he turns those calories from fat into muscle? And I don't quite know the dynamic of why he would do that, though.
No, but I mean, you know, what they do is it's largely short burst, isn't it? You know, there's nothing sustained where you'd need that level of energy. But
there's no endurance or stamina, is it? It's all power, strength. It's so short. Yeah.
I imagine his workout routine, though, you'd need a lot of calories that you are going to burn through to build that level of muscle. I don't know. You're really asking the wrong person. I've been building fat rather than muscle.
Well, I mean, Andy, obviously you went through it, you know, and obviously I suppose it obviously when you were in the army and stuff, I don't know whether they did, but I suspect they might have taught you about those type of things. So would you do it because when you intake calories, that if you don't then exercise, that's stored as fat, is that right? And then what you do is you then effectively transform that into muscle, is that right? You transform that into muscle mass.
Yeah. So fat is only unburnt calories, effectively. Yeah. So yeah, if you like Eddie Hall will probably, well, I've not looked at his workout plan, but yeah, he'd probably do a heavy set, and then he'll have like, you know, minutes in between his next set, so he'll breathe, get his heart rate back down again, then he'll go again. Whereas, say a bodybuilder would be more reps, obviously less weight, and then they'll have like 30-second rest or a minute or whatever, then go back to it. So they're constantly chipping away. So Eddie Hall he will burn calories.
His top end will be a lot heavier than and be able to do a lot more than others. Whereas, you know, I always used to be told that it's not necessarily how much you can lift, it's the number of sets and reps that you can do. So you would do like 10 to 15 reps and you might do like 4 or 5 sets of each of those activities, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is a Guinness World Record holder, isn't he, in terms of the largest ever deadlift? You know, the most that anybody's ever lifted it is that guy.
It's been broken since.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, by Hafthor Bjornsson. Well, he's done 1 kilogram heavier.
Oh, okay, that's still.
It's still a record.
Well, yeah.
I can lift a kilo. But when a friend of mine, Rich Morton, he went on Come Down with me. He did it. It was the couples one, actually. So I still don't know why that's not called Come Down with Us. It doesn't make any sense to me. And they did it, and obviously he was living in Malcop at the time, and obviously Malcop being Staffordshire. Eddie the Beast Hall was one of the guys on there, so it wasn't a celebrity one, but he took part in it. So he had Eddie the Beast and his wife visit him, and then he went around. He won it, actually. Rich Morton won it. They got the prize and the stuff. He shares it out regularly on Facebook.
So he handed out the plates. It's like, here's yours, Eddie. Here's yours.
Yeah, that's I imagine
he's on a big serving
platter. Yeah, he stopped off somewhere.
This turkey serves 8 to 10 people. Well, that's yours, Eddie.
Mate, go for it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, there you go. I've got 2 kilos of Maris Pipers. I've got 15 pigs in blankets. Crack on, Eddie.
And a 4-pack of pot noodles.
So sorry, Andy, I was just going to say, so would Amy make New Year's resolutions? So in terms of partners, I mean, obviously I've said that sort of my missus has done in the past. What about yours two then? Do yours two sort of make New Year's resolutions and stick to them or not?
No. We set ourselves targets and stuff.
So is that not a resolution then?
It's throughout the year. It's not just Christmas.
Not just for Christmas. It's for life. Resolutions are for life, not just for Christmas. In fact, you see, we should be doing that. We should be looking at like car stickers and badges and stuff, because they went through that phase, like, you know, dogs for life, not just for Christmas, but resolutions. I see. I'm thinking. And what about yourself? What about Kim? Will she do? You know?
No, not really. I don't think so. Anyway, she certainly never vocalised them if she does. No, I mean, she's the sort of person, she thinks about what she's eating on a daily basis anyway. So apart from at Christmas, you know, there's no point worrying about what you're eating this time of year. No point.
No calories at Christmas, is there? No calories at Christmas or holidays.
Yeah, you just.
So I'm knackered because I get 30 weeks a year, so I'm.
That's it. I get 8 weeks, so I do take the mickey out of you, but I do okay. I do okay with my time out of work. But no,
okay, shaking his head, look at his head. No.
I get like 4.
Yeah, but you only work off a day. You work from home, so
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully nobody's working with the amount of posts I get sent via Instagram. I think make up for it in other ways.
It's like WhatsApp group various times a day. It's like, bloody hell, dude, you on simultaneous drinking there? What was that? Was that little beeper go off then? you look at Andy's time. He's like, oh yeah, Andy, you're not working. How can you?
Oh yeah, multitasking it.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, a high pressure job. You can't work constantly. You got to take a minute or two.
You got to take a screen break. So you take a screen break from your PC onto your phone. That's not a screen break, is it?
Well, I'm getting a brew or something, or a pint.
Or a pint. Yeah. Is it too early? Question mark. In fact, that is a question. So when is it too early, or is it never too early?
Not over Christmas. No, it's fine.
You see, that's the thing. You can, you rock up at, I don't know, what you finish work at. What time do you finish work? 2. What time do you finish work at? 3, 2, 3.
I normally finish at 2. Yeah.
2. Yeah. So, and I said the kids generally leave about 12:15, 3:30. So I'm normally back by about 5. Sometimes it's like you're walking, you're like, oh yeah, I can just. Is that too early? Is that not too early? Is it bad? First thing you think about, you come through the door, it's like, I could murder a beer.
The worst thing is on a Friday, Andy always sends a picture of his beer.
Yeah,
I've got to go pick JJ up from
on
nursery.
Friday.
Yeah, that's it. I've got to pick JJ up from nursery. And I thought, I can't turn up stinking a beer picking me up at 4 o'clock of an afternoon. It just sets the wrong image.
Unshaven as well.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Just emerged from the bush. Hello?
Oh, JJ. Need another drink.
Where's your car? Oh, it's over there somewhere.
Been impounded. Don't worry about it.
Well, the thing is, it's Friday. That's the first thing. But over summer, my work did like a summer Friday thing, so it was like half day Fridays. Just take advantage of it, especially when it's summer. But I was doing it even when it wasn't half day Fridays. So dinner time. Quick drink.
There was one that I can't remember. I don't know what day it was, but there was like a. In fact, it might have been a Beavertown. I don't know whether or not. And there was like obviously the Beavertown glass. And it's like, woo, and it must have been like 12 or something. I was like, fudging hell, Andy, that's early.
Yeah, when I was in the office, there's a bar called Cask in Ancoats, and I used to visit there every dinner, have a pint, and I go back to the office. Obviously, the Beavertown Loop Lloyd's quite strong, so you have like a couple of pints of that, go back, and just play pool at work for a few hours. Doing work, of course, in between.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But that was good though, because it was like I wasn't drinking throughout the week. Though. It was just like that day, and then maybe the weekend. Whereas now it's like daily, half a daily.
Well, this is the trouble over the past 2 years, and I'm not blaming Boris Johnson and his handling of the pandemic as to why I put on weight, because it's my decision to eat the food and drink the beer. But that's half of it. Is so what am I going to do now? What's the thing to do? I'll get a few beers in at home because it's cheaper than going down the pub anyway, which we couldn't do. So you can afford a little bit more beer. You can afford you can afford those snacks, and because you're not walking out to the pub, you're not getting out as much, you're not exercising as much. Now, unfortunately, there is a physical side to my job, so I generally do my 10,000 steps at work every day. But yeah, that's been the biggest downfall. Was it called the quarantine 17 or something? The people putting on 17 pounds during the quarantine period. You heard that expression?
Really?
Yeah,
no, I've heard that.
Well, I think with four quarantines, that probably explains why I put.
I was going to say, I was going to, yeah, but is it only that many? Is it only that many? Yeah, no, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, okay. I might have made it up.
Yeah, I reckon you have. No, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's weird because how many people? Because obviously the three of us have said, "Nah, we might make them, but we don't really stick to them." And I hope that you do this year, Ad. But how many people genuinely and generally do you think actually stick to them? I mean, I don't know. There's not many that I speak to that actually stick to them. Yeah, I did it for the first 2 or 3 weeks, but then nah. What's the period of time? Is it like basically January? So it's a bit like.
I think the idea is for the year, but our good buddy Craig, who appeared on the role playing episode that we did, he's really good at giving stuff up for Lent, isn't he? Yeah. He does Lent every year, and he's not religious. He just takes it as an opportunity to expunge himself. Normally, a chocolate or biscuits or cake.
Well, he did. I remember one year. Did we see him? Was it like the weekend after he'd finished? And did he give up crisps for a year or something? So he basically gave up crisps. And it's like we saw him for a year after, and he's proper like, and he's like eating them. He's just like, he's like proper savouring everyone. But he's done like chocolate. He's done. He'll never give up tea, but he's done chocolate. He's done crisps. I don't know what else he's done. But he, to be fair, he isn't too bad. And he was never a massive sort of, I say heavy drinker like us.
No.
So he's never like massively a drinker. In fact, I don't think he's massively ever been a drinker, really.
No, he needs to take it up, so he's got something to give up next.
I tell you what, you're going to do in 2023, 2022. You're going to drink heavily.
Yeah, get leathered all the way through to Easter.
You can give it up. In fact, I might mention that too, because we obviously seen him Friday. Obviously, I'll mention that too. Say, I just had a really bright idea.
You don't listen to my ideas at the best of times, so that's not one of my better ideas.
No, it isn't. No, but no, I'd just be curious, and I'm sure the stats out there somewhere or other. But to how many people actually genuinely keep them, and for those that don't, for the whole year, generally, how long did they last into it? Do you know what I mean? Because I reckon most people, if they don't stick to them, fail within the first month. So they get to January, end of January, and they go like, "Nah, I've done a month."
I reckon a lot of people will falter within the first week when you just think, "Oh, this is a load of bollocks. What was I thinking of?"
What a stupid idea that was.
I think a lot of people only do it for the month as well, don't they? Like dry January and all that.
Yeah, I know, and actually, to be fair, one of our mates, he always does dry January, and he does do it every year, and he will, or historically he has stuck to it, so he will do dry January. But it's a bit like, I don't know, sober for October, dry January. That's 2 months of the year. Sod that, bloody hell. Not having that, Jesus.
No,
I'm drunk for 2 days a week, let alone a month.
Yeah, you spend February making up for January.
Yeah, he cracks. Yeah, for February, he's like, he just doesn't remember February. So yeah, absolutely. February's just a fog.
I did. Funnily enough, I did try and find out like where did it all come from, the resolutions thing.
Oh yeah.
And there's a couple of them that are quite interesting. This is from Wikipedia, the fountain of all knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But there's one of them I quite liked. So one part of it is the Romans. The Romans began each year by making promises to the god Janus, for whom the month of January is named. I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. But this is the one I really liked. In the medieval era, the knights took the peacock vow at the end of the Christmas season each year to reaffirm their commitment to chivalry. Just the peacock vow. I loved it.
Why was it called peacock vow? Was it to do with the feathers that they wore in the helmet, or?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't bother going any further. Now I saw that. Took all the fuck that do. I'll have a quick Google now. The feathers is quite an interesting thing, isn't it?
That's my theory, anyway. And while you're just googling that now, I can let Gaz know he's off the hook.
Go on.
I've heard from Brad and Ryan they've managed to get some Lef and some delirium in the States.
Yes. Well, to be fair, it's weird because obviously I said to you, I said, what would be the easiest way? Because I wasn't sure whether or not you'd ship to Bayou or not. And then you obviously came back to me when, actually, dude, you can't need a license to ship. And I was like, oh, right, okay. And obviously you then said, probably the best thing to do is look for somewhere that in America that does it and then just put the delivery address as their address and go from there, sort of thing. But I'm glad. So what of their feedback on it then? Have they drank it?
Yeah, he tried the Lef and he thought it was quite similar to the Erdinger. And I don't think that I know. But I don't think he's tried the delirium yet, or they may have done.
Lef is similar to Erdinger.
I guess, but then again, if he's not had Erdinger for a long time, then maybe it's a memory thing.
I'm assuming he's on about
Yeah,
That earning it.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I think they'll be recording an episode, and they normally get them out on Wednesdays, I think. So
Yeah.
well, I'll have a listen to that because no doubt they'll be taste testing it in the same way that I taste tested the old black and tan. It was
Yeah.
So he messaged on Saturday actually while we were out with Andy, and I messaged him back saying, let's keep it to yourself for a little bit. Let's see if we get some money out of the lad.
Well, I say, I genuinely said to you, didn't I? How do you do it? And you were like, I don't think you can. Is that all right? Okay. But I'm glad they found it. I'm glad they've. Well, I hope they enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it's similar to it. Man, I don't. To me, it's not similar to Erdinger. I don't think it's different, completely different type of beer. But look, I hope they enjoy it and I hope they like it, and we'll wait and see what they say, sort of thing. But yeah,
indeed. The black and tan, I have to say, wasn't too bad. I couldn't get hold of Harp though. I mean, wow, you can't really see. I've never seen Harp in this country for a long, long time.
No, it's weird because it's not really a drink that it's not a mix of drinks that I thought really went, if you know what I mean. Obviously, we discussed the sort of the snake bite, and then we discussed the scouse. Is that like a half lager, half bitter, or whatever it is, So, but yeah, is it known as something different in this country or something?
In Ireland, it's also called half and half. Now, I watched
half and half.
Half and half, yeah. So I watched a video on how to make it. So basically, you bend a spoon, pour your Guinness on top of it. Now I couldn't get Harp, so I got Grolsch, and I have to say I wasn't a big fan of Grolsch since they knocked it down to 4% anyway. So I would say it improved the taste of the Grolsch, but detracted from the taste of the Guinness. I'd rather just have a Guinness.
You do the Grolsch first and then pour the Guinness over
over a
so
spoon.
Is that a bit like
on top?
So that'll be a bit like like a liqueur coffee. So you you pour it over liqueur coffee and over the back of a spoon and sort of thing
to get it to sit on top of it. Just the same as that. And to be honest, it's really effective and actually quite easy to do. It was only like I think maybe the fourth one that I messed up, and that was after I had that Bush Noel.
That was after the three.
That was after that Bush Noel that Andy gave me, and the practice what you preach brewdog one, which is also 10%, so that could possibly explain as to why. But I also looked into it because, as I said to the guys, I've been to Ireland a few times and I've never come across it, but it is an Irish thing. It is a genuine Irish cocktail of black and tan. And I know there's an obvious reason why it's called black and tan, the fact that it is black and tan. But do you know the other reason why it's called black and tan?
No, go on.
Well, when I was making it, Grandma was here, and I was making a black and tan. She says, weren't they the constables that were recruited into the Irish constabulary? I was like, no, it's a drink. What are you on about? And I googled it.
She's right.
Yeah, that was the case. Yeah, they were used as reinforcements during the Irish War of Independence. So around about January 1920, 10,000 men were recruited from Great Britain to become what were known as the Black and Tans. And that's
why were they called the black and tans? Or was that?
I didn't get that far. I'm guessing they wore a black top and tan trousers.
I don't
know. Can't imagine any other reason unless you.
Do your research, dude.
I've done a bit of research.
What are you on about, Nanny? Been on the whiskey again.
That's it. The fact that what she said made sense. I was like, wow, that's blowing my mind because it's not. A, I'd never heard of it anyway as a drink. B, I'd never heard of it as an expression as a group of people.
But I would just never have put I say growing up, mid-20s, mid-30s, going through, and I spoke about it when the pub time guys were on. I went through a phase of drinking quite a lot of Guinness. Like that was what I would drink. I'd go out and drink Guinness, and they mentioned, can't remember which one of them it was that said he could probably have a couple of pints and that would be about it. And Andy, obviously you said there was however many were 20 pints of Guinness on the bill and 12 for yours or whatever it was. I can't remember what the numbers were, but something horrendous. But I remember thinking, there's times I've gone out and probably drank, shouldn't have been, this sort of 6-7 pints of Guinness and sort of just and not been horrendous, but I just can't imagine putting it with lager.
No, so one of the videos I've seen is either lager or pale ale. I don't know if pale ale would work maybe a little better. Only a little better though. I don't get me wrong, it was okay. It was a decent beer.
But it's not one of those. It's not one of those things that I would think automatically complement each other. As you said, I suspect the Guinness detracts from the pale ale or the lager, and the lager detracts from the Guinness. I don't know.
Yeah, I preferred it to a pint of Grolsch, but didn't like it as much as a pint of Guinness. That's probably the best way I can say it.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, maybe we'll have to over Christmas. We'll have to perhaps try and have a
go.
black and tan, and we'll yeah, okay. Well,
I think so.
Does it have to be? Yeah, well, that wouldn't work, would it?
Might do. I got to try it with a whiskey.
I was going to say Andy's going to have a black and tan Boilermaker. He's going to have half left, half Guinness with some whiskey chucked in the top.
Yeah.
Look at him! I salivate. Look at him.
What did it taste like? I don't know. I passed out after.
What's to stop shaking? Honestly, like since I got, I can't remember where I was. It might have been the Christmas markets years ago. There's somewhere I did a Boilermaker, and I've had it ever since. I love it, and I've been experimenting with it. So like, Wild Turkey is quite good with lupulloid, but if you get Tatton Viper and then the Hague whiskey in it, oh my god, it's lovely.
I could just imagine Andy. He's got like his row of like whiskies and bourbons and stuff across the top, and then he's got his cans and his beers across the bottom. He's just like, I wonder whether that'll work with that, and I wonder whether that'll work. And he's just there proper mixing it up, Mr. like Boilermaker man. You know what I mean? I just imagine him doing that proper like in his little zone. God, and I'll try that.
I think once my office is built, I think I might do that. Get a big optics set. Honestly, Boilermaker is amazing.
It's weird because the only time not Boilermaker, but I remember one year we were going out as a Christmas Christmas do for one of the schools I used to work for, and they did pub golf, and I was about 20 minutes, half an hour late or whatever, so I'd missed a couple of drinks because obviously they were like, well, the first drink is the short and the second drink is a pint and the third drink is this and that and stuff. So I remember going to this place. Well, they said, well, you need to catch up a gin, a lager, and a Guinness. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I can catch up the Guinness, so that's okay. So I had a pint of Guinness. I was like, right, that's pretty much gone. Okay, well, gin and lager. I'll just put the gin in the lager. That'd be fine. I'll have a pint of lager, take a couple of sips, and then I'll just put the gin in it. Don't ever do that. It is horrendous. And literally, it completely spoiled the lager. And I'd never expected, that much liquid and I proper struggled to drink it. And instead of like actually catching up, I was like, this isn't very pleasant.
Gin on its own does that to me anyway.
Honestly, Andy, I don't know what lager it was, but it was horrendous. So I'll just catch up on it. It'd be fine. Pop it in there. Not a problem. Catch that up. No bother. No, not. It took me like 3 times as long to drink it. So I'd take a sip. I was like, oh my god, that's horrendous. Can't imagine anything worse.
See, I like whiskey. I love whiskey. And I do enjoy a beer, but mixing the two together, it's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, you have to find the right pairing, because a lot of times it'll take some of the sharpness away from the beer and just obviously elevate the alcohol level, but it just takes a little edge off it. It's beautiful.
You see, it's weird because you guys know, obviously, I'm not a massive whiskey drinker, and I suspect that's because I've been influenced by obviously my mum and stuff, and she drank whiskey like a fish drinks water, I suppose. But I've tried lots of times to put whiskey in things, and I've really tried to enjoy it and find a drink that I can actually have it. The only one I had was a BMW, and it's a Bailey's Malibu whiskey. effectively, we were on holiday somewhere. I can't remember, some Spanish or Greek island or something. I was like, BMW, I'll have one of them. I know it's got whiskey in it, but we'll see. And actually, it was actually okay. And I was like, oh, I'll have another one of them. I'll have another one of them. And it was actually, it was pleasant. But that's probably the only drink that I've found that actually with whiskey in it I could drink.
I've never tried one of them. Never tried. And I tell you, the best thing to put whiskey in, empty glass. Just put it in an empty glass and drink it by itself. That's when it tastes the best. No ice, no nothing. Just drink it the way the.
I know you had those frozen ice cubes, do you, where it cools the whiskey down, but actually doesn't water it down effectively.
Yeah, the stones. So. Yeah, you put the stones.
Yeah.
Even then, now I just prefer just to drink it at room temperature. Lying in that bush with my bottle of whiskey.
Is that just before or after you pick up JJ?
That's after.
Not putting your stones in there.
Put your stones in whiskey. It stings.
Yeah. And that's the end of that.
And we're just coming up to the hour. Well, we're not quite yet, Andy. We're not quite there yet.
No. I was going to say, I wonder what other interesting concoctions people make. I always remember my uncle tried to get me with the Baileys and something else you put in your gob and you shake your head and it all like goes lumpy and all that. I can never remember what it was, but it's Baileys and something. And it's revolting.
But we used to
Cointreau, I think it doesn't mix well with.
Right,
like, it just goes dead thick.
Yeah, it goes. If you put it in, remember Dooley's? You remember Dooley's toffee liqueur, which is very similar to Bailey. You stick that in a pint of Guinness, it tastes phenomenal, but you have to poke your finger through the head to drink it. Yeah, it honestly solidifies at the top. It's the weirdest thing. You got the slush. But it tastes absolutely delightful.
For years, we had a drink. They called it Monkey Brain, and it was Bailey's. And what they used to do is used to give it if it's anybody's birthday or anything like that. And it was either ready salted crisps or a digestive biscuit, and you'd basically like scrunch it all up and you put it in and you put Bailey's, and then they added, I can't for life, there was it's basically something you could get from a bar, and they added it to it, but it sort of almost solidified. And it's like, right, chug that down then, kiddo. And you'd be like, ugh. And you didn't know whether they have like a straw or a spoon. You know what I mean? It's like, don't drink it or eat it. It was like, yeah. And I know one of the lads having one. And he's like, and he's a bit like, and let's just say it didn't go down too well. And it made a reappearance not too shortly after. But I'm sure they call that a monkey brain. But that'd be the similar sort of thing, Andy, where it was like you crushed it up, the digestives or the crisps or whatever, and then you put this drink in it, and it basically just made it like a mush. And then it was like, yeah, it's just like, oh my god, and, you literally like coming out of the glass, you'd be like, actually, I might actually just scoop that because, and that must have been something similar, yeah. It was
absolutely horrible.
It was, and that was the whole point. Because somebody's like 21st or 40th or whatever, it's like, yeah, get this down, you kiddo.
Happy birthday, son.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, happy birthday. Enjoy.
Yeah, so I think we've come out with a few more resolutions here. I think you guys should get on the Boilermakers a bit more.
I think I'd rather go with the monkey brains.
I'm not so sure the missus will be too pleased. So have you got any New Year's resolution? Yes, drink more whiskey. Yeah, forget the 2 beer 3 days a week. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink more whiskey, and then when I drink beer, I'm actually going to put whiskey in it.
I've heard a guy in a bush talking to me as I walk past.
I come out the front door, there's a guy to my left who's just like slobbering by the fence. I don't know what's going on there. Drink. He keeps saying, drink.
I think we're just shy of an hour.
Yeah,
I think we could end it there.
Yeah, no, it's like, look, dude, like we could go a couple more left turns, couldn't we? We could talk about, I say, funny drinking stories, but no, we're just shy of an hour. I don't know exactly how short we are, but that sounds good to me. Really enjoyed it tonight. Good fun, good laugh. recounting a couple of stories and stuff and New Year's resolutions that we're never, ever going to follow through with as such. So, no, enjoyed tonight, guys. Been great to catch up. And as you say, for the listeners in there that work out their calendars, yes, it's now the 14th of December, but you won't be picking this up until the New Year. So, hope you had a fantastic Christmas. Hope you had a fantastic New Year. Everybody's safe, families are well, and all of that. And if you've got families, I hope they enjoyed Santa emptying his sack. And we'll see you soon.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, definitely. Same from me. As Gaz said, I hope you guys have had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. We're yet to have ours yet, because like he said, we're recording this mid-December. But I hope you've had a fantastic Christmas and a very, very pleasant New Year. We'll be back next week, even though we're going to take 4 weeks off. So if we sound really, really rusty, that's why. So I'll just say Merry Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year, happy whatever we are now. I don't know. Happy Omicron.
Happy Omicron?
Why
Since
not?
when is that a thing?
Hey, listen, it could be by then. This could be a bold prediction.
It probably could be. If Boris gets his way, it probably will be.
Well, I've seen the news today, but that's another matter.
Yeah. I got no Neil Morrissey quote today. I was quite good. I've been through his list a few times. There's nothing decent in there.
No.
But yeah, echo everything the other guys have said, and drink responsibly and all that. And I hope you have a good year. On to the next. This is my last leading one for another year. So. Andy out.